Hey everyone, so we've got a big one to talk about today. A powerful storm system is gearing up to impact a huge chunk of the United States over the next several days, and it's going to bring some significant severe weather. We're talking damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes stretching all the way from the central and southern plains, right back into the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. On top of that, a major flooding threat is shaping up for this weekend, and areas that honestly don't need any more rain, spots in the central plains and along the Mississippi River Valley that are already completely saturated. So in today's forecast, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about the system, what it's doing right now, what's coming over the next 7 days, and where you need to be on high alert. Let's jump into what's happening out there today because we're already off to a pretty active start. Before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button like this video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Right now, we still got some big storms ongoing back into the Midwest. A big complex of thunderstorms ramped up last night, and it's moving across Wisconsin this morning, heading for Michigan. And unfortunately, this is the same system that brought significant severe weather around Omaha last night. We actually had what I call a small-scale tornado outbreak out there. And if you were watching the channel, we were covering it live. It got wild. We even had a tornado emergency issued with multiple large tornadoes on the ground at once. It was an intense couple of hours. That same system is shifting east today. And while the severe weather threat will continue in parts of the Midwest, the bigger story is this setup that stretches all the way from Texas into the Great Lakes. It's going to be a long one. Another one of those days where you're chasing storms from morning till night. Down in the southern plains, showers and thunderstorms are already starting to bubble up. There's a ton of moisture streaming in out of the Pacific, and we're expecting a much more organized severe weather event as we head into late today and tomorrow. So let's talk about the severe weather potential over the next few days, starting with today, what I'm calling Flying Fences Friday, because it's one of those days. We've got a large slight risk for severe weather stretching from the Great Lakes into North Texas. This includes big cities like Chicago, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Joplin, and it gets pretty close to the Dallas-Fort Worth area too. There's even a marginal risk extending back up into the Great Lakes and parts of Indiana and Texas. The biggest concerns today are going to be large to very large hail. And by that, I mean apple-sized hail possible in parts of Oklahoma and Texas this afternoon and evening. It's not much different than what we saw yesterday during that little tornado outbreak in Iowa and Nebraska. Speaking of tornadoes, today's tornado risk is a little smaller than what we were dealing with yesterday. A couple of tornadoes are possible in the Midwest, but they actually removed the tornado risk for places like Wisconsin and Michigan. And that's mainly because of something called a cap, basically a layer in the atmosphere that stops storms from developing. That'll likely keep the tornado chances at bay up there. Though I wouldn't completely rule out a rogue tornado somewhere like St. Louis, Chicago, or Indianapolis. The bigger tornado risk today is down in central and southwestern Oklahoma and into North Texas, where there's a 5 risk outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. Cities like Wichita, Falls, and Oklahoma City are in that zone. So if you're there, stay weather aware. Most of this kicks off late afternoon into the evening. Tomorrow, things shift slightly south. We'll have a large slight risk from southern Missouri down through Dallas-Fort Worth and into North Texas with a marginal threat stretching through Pittsburgh into the Ohio Valley. High tomorrow's looking like another hail and wind kind of day, but Texas, again, could see some big hail. We're talking more of those apple-sized stones tomorrow afternoon and evening in central and North Texas. Tornado-wise, they're looking at another 5 risk for parts of central Texas and North Texas, just outside of DFW. There's also a 2D risk stretching into western Arkansas and southeastern Oklahoma. So again, a few tornadoes are possible tomorrow. Sunday's a weird one though. Sunday has the ingredients for a legit outbreak, but there are a few problems with the setup. The Storm Prediction Center right now has a large marginal and slight risk stretching from central and southern Illinois down into Texas. Honestly, this could turn into something much more serious as we get closer. It's all going to depend on how those mesoscale features line up. The bigger picture looks really impressive. Strong trough, a ton of wind shear, everything's there. It just depends if we get the storms to fire in the right spots. If they do, strong tornadoes would be on the table for Sunday. As for today, our significant tornado parameter, basically a value we use to gauge tornado potential, will be climbing this afternoon in parts of Illinois, Michigan, and the Midwest. But again, it'll take a discrete supercell to tap into that, and I'm not convinced we'll get much going there. Closer to 6 or 7 p.m., tornado potential picks up more in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Illinois. By 9 or 10 p.m., it's still a favorable environment for tornadoes in Oklahoma and Texas, but most storms in the Midwest should stay elevated, producing mainly hail and wind. Tomorrow's tornado threat ramps up in the early to mid-afternoon across North Texas and southern Oklahoma, with those significant tornado parameter values climbing higher, even pushing near 8 or 9 in a few spots. That's enough to catch my attention, and if storms stay surface-based, we could see a slightly more elevated tornado risk tomorrow evening too. Timing-wise today, the Midwest has some elevated storms moving through this morning. Those should clear by lunchtime with a chance of new storms developing this afternoon. I expect mainly isolated hail and wind up there, maybe a brief tornado if something surprises us. But that morning complex of storms will probably stabilize things a bit, making redevelopment tougher. Still, after sunset tonight, we'll probably see another round of hail and windstorms in the Midwest with some scattered activity overnight. Southern Plains. That's where it's going to stay wild. Showers and storms will start firing late this evening, around 8 p.m. Most of those will be elevated to start, meaning hail and strong downburst winds with maybe a tornado or two. But as we get deeper into the night, tornado potential ramps up, especially across central and southern Oklahoma and into North Texas. A big cluster of storms will push east overnight, bringing hail, wind, and a few tornadoes. Tomorrow morning, that cluster moves toward Cape Girardeau and St. Louis, while another line tries to fire back up in Oklahoma and Texas. Still capable of damaging winds, hail, and isolated tornadoes. Then, by mid to late afternoon tomorrow, more storms light up near Delhi and Wichita Falls. Same deal, hail, wind, and maybe tornadoes. Honestly, tomorrow's setup looks a little more impressive than today's. Fine and Sunday has the highest potential for an outbreak. Assuming those mesoscale features cooperate, the large-scale setup is impressive. Intensifying trough, strong low-level jet ramping up across the deep south. If you get some discrete supercells in that, it could get messy, but we'll know a lot more by tomorrow, and I'll have another update video for you in the morning. Quick heads up. Besides severe weather, we're looking at a significant flooding threat too. Unfortunately, some of the areas getting the worst of the rain are already way too wet. Parts of St. Louis, central and southern Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Missouri, some of these places could see 3 to 6 inches of rain in the next 5 days, and a few spots might pick up as much as 10 inches. Definitely watch for localized flooding. If you've got friends or family in those areas, let them know. Stay off the roads if it floods. Turn around, don't drown. You know the drill. There's already a moderate risk of excessive rainfall for Saturday, and more rain is on the way after that. Not as bad as early April's setup, but still significant. And then after this weekend's madness, things do quiet down a bit into mid next week. But by Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, looks like another severe weather threat as another trough rolls off the Rockies. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click that bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks so much for watching today's forecast. Stay safe out there. It's going to be an active stretch. I'll see you guys back here in the next one.